I'm struggling this evening a lot. And the fact that the whole naming also goes the other way when how we were all feeling was just named as kumbaya and dismissed as that. Yeah, that's really unsettling for me. It's like, oh, it's the kumbaya and then we are the them, and we've spent the last hour and a half focusing on that them so called. And I'm like, what did I get wrong here? Like, what did I miss here? There's something that feels quite unsettling about sort of dismissing the sense of whatever, them, us, whatever, as kumbaya and just kind of moving over that. And as if that's a given or that's okay. And I'm having a really hard time moving past that, moving past why are we not also giving space and unpacking that people were happy or were celebratory or that was, and creating space for that. My life got turned upside down for 2 years. My husband had to leave the country so there were real consequences for my life. It's not an opinion, So, and to have that just be dismissed as kumbaya, and maybe it wasn't dismissed, but rather labeled as kumbaya. So I am interested in that quote, Isabel, of, going past that. And I think it has to happen on all edges and not just on one side or the other. So yeah, so I feel very ironically themmed in this attempt to us, the them, and all of that. For me, the sense was, and I was really confused, and I was working really hard to do this whole like us, them thing. And maybe I have a long way to go in my own development and my sense of being able to hold that us, but it just felt like I lost my husband for 2 years because of these decisions. I mean, we've been apart for 2 years, and now we're, making difficult life choices directly as a consequence of these policies. So it had a very it's not about how, my opinion of what other people think of Trump or this or that. It's not about me theming. It's like, oh my God, my life was torn apart. I had 1 week. We were given 1 week notice. And he had a visa of aliens of extraordinary ability, which is extremely difficult to get. Yeah. And within 1 week, we were told that he was going to be handed to ICE if they didn't leave. So no, it's not so it just felt like a misunderstanding or a mischaracterization or a misrepresentation of both my pain and my joy. It has nothing to do with theming, but a direct having to do with my lived experience of utter misery for the past 2 years as a direct consequence of this situation. So I felt like that was sort of I don't know, there was no space for that. And I think when Isabel said the whole naming and going through, I just couldn't, I had to bring that into this.
I think it's important. I think Shakopee made two interesting, at least from my perspective, two significant points. And one is part of the finding common ground is to hear each other's story. Yeah. Because when you hear the story, your heart gets broken.
Yes.
And the other part is in terms of carrying presence, it means that each of us has to stand with Shakopee in her pain. Mm-hmm. And be able to stay with that and hold that and embrace that and that in that way honor that pain. And it brings you to a different understanding. I mean it's of course she needed to vote for Biden. Of course. And that makes sense. That if you understand her pain and where that's coming from. And then, of course, that's an invitation then to say, moving forward, what do we do so that that doesn't happen again?
Thank you.